Welcome back to another video. My name is Black and today we'll be breaking down the Dragon Ball Daima teaser trailer video, going over what we saw, giving a few theories based on the information that we have at hand, and dispelling some of the fears that this is just a Dragon Ball GT remake. If you're brand new to the channel, I will be doing videos for all of the episodes, so make sure to subscribe so you do not miss a thing. Dragon Ball Daima is set to release in the fall of next year, 2024, unlike Dragon Ball Super that was released in winter, January 7th, back in 2017. But starting at the beginning of the trailer, they open up with a shot of what I'm guessing is the home of the main antagonist of the show. It looks like it's either on another planet or in another dimension. I'm almost 100% positive that this is not Earth. The vibes that it's giving off is that this palace is radiating heat, or something that will go to support my theory later on in this video is that this palace isn't radiating heat, it's actually radiating magical energy. The next shots we get is an actual look inside of the palace. I've seen theories on this from posts on Instagram and Twitter where people think that this room is going to set up for a Tournament of Power type arc where the Z Fighters would have to fight some unknown, extremely strong opponents. Me personally, I don't think that's the case, because if you zoom in, you can see what looks like a throne-like chair smack in the middle of what is thought to be the tournament stage by some fans. Going only a few seconds forward in the trailer, we get our first WTF moment when we get a glimpse of the main antagonist and his helper. I say that this is a WTF moment because if you look closely at the helper, you can clearly see that he is a Supreme Kai. I want to talk more about this later on in the video when I give more evidence to back up my theory of what's going on in Daima and where the story is heading. Also on these screens, they're viewing a very specific point in the time of the Z Fighter's life throughout this trailer, and that's the Majin Buu arc of the DBZ storyline. Characters like Deborah, Buu, and Babidi pop up throughout this trailer on these view screens, which leads me to believe that the main antagonist of the story is also a powerful magic user like Babidi, and is probably out to avenge his death or continue his work. And his helper is someone he's corrupted with his magic, a Supreme Kai in training gone bad like we saw with the Zamasu character from Dragon Ball Super, or my favorite but less likely, one of the Kaioshin who died fighting Buu. I say that this is the least likely of the three only because the helper doesn't seem to resemble any of the Kaioshin who actually fought Buu. Going forward in the trailer, we get some shots of a ship flying around the castle on this far off world or dimension. Also, what seems to be a swirling storm of magical energy above the palace, lending more evidence towards my theory that these people are magic users like Babidi. We also get a close-up of what I think is the main villain's face after a transformation of some sort, where it looks like he's either trying to stop the ship from escaping him or the world. Moving a little further, we get a shot of Shinron being summoned at the lookout. I'm guessing this is after the Z Fighters and crew have been turned into children and they went to ask Dende, hey, what do you think is going on? He doesn't quite know, so they summon Shinron to either ask him as well or just to fix them, which I'm guessing he won't be strong enough to do. Then we get shots of Goku and Vegeta being turned into children during what looks like a sparring session between the two at this party that's being hosted by Bulma. I say that this is a Bulma party because it's very elaborate. It has caterers and big decorations, which screams Bulma party to me, seeing that in recent years as well, there's always some type of conflict going on at one of these parties. Most notable being when we're first introduced to Beerus and him just wrecking everyone. We also see that the rest of the Z crew has been turned into children and them all dealing with the shock of that. We see Supreme Kai Shin and Kibito have been turned into children as well, which furthers my belief that the helper that we see with the villain in the trailer's opening is also a Supreme Kai and is targeting Supreme Kai Shin and Kibito because he sees them as a threat to what they have planned. Fast forward, we get shots of Goku, Supreme Kai Shin, and Kibito at what I'm guessing is the lookout. This is probably right after or right before them summoning Shinron for answers or help. We see a frustrated Kid Vegeta screaming at Goku, still at the lookout, trying to figure out what's going on or what their next move is. Also, we get some shots of Kid Goku with his power pole for the first time in a very long time. I'm guessing the power pole has just been sitting up at the lookout collecting dust, and now that Goku is a kid again, he's going to be using the power pole as an extension of his own strength. Moving ahead, we get a shot of a green face and a lone eye. It looks like this character is being awakened or receiving some sort of power up. This is probably one of the minions of the new bad guy, and most likely the reason the Z Crew has to be reverted back to children, being that I believe the antagonist is using magic powers like Babidi and has to absorb the powers from the Z Crew to power his new version of Majin Buu. If you don't know, Babidi had to absorb the energy from his enemies to power his magic to awaken Buu, and being that the villain only seems to be concerned with that time period of the Z Fighter's life, I'm guessing he's out to do something similar. Next, we get shots of the villain's homeworld, a dragon flying along a rocky scape of this world with floating rocks, a random diner on this planet that sells burgers. What catches my eye mostly about this part of the trailer is the section where they showed this magical looking barrier floating above a pit. Early predictions is that this is where the green faced creature is being kept, and that the energy being collected is being pulled into that pit to power his reincarnation. We also get a look at the side profile view of the helper of the villain, which extremely resembles a Supreme Kai. We also get some more shots of the main villain and his helper looking at these giant screens viewing Babidi and Majin Buu, which again further supports my theory that this villain is a magic user out to get revenge for Babidi. The trailer ends with Kid Goku squaring off with a robot. It looks as if they are on the villain's homeworld. It looks very rocky. The sky is this weird purplish red color. It seems that Dragon Ball Daima is leaning heavy on this magic type feel instead of having these looming powerful physical characters as Dragon Ball has had in the past. I don't believe that this is just a GT remake like some fans are fearing, and that this is something completely different that we're all just gonna have to give a chance. But what are your predictions and hopes for the show? Do you believe Dragon Ball Daima is going to be a fresh take on the DBU as a whole? Or do you think that this is something we've seen before that's just being rehashed? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.